the National Legends Cars Championship in association with Park Lane Cars. Welcome to Brands Hatch, the 6th programme in the 2022 season, and a very busy meeting for us here. The big crowds of the American Speed Fest. The championship table as we arrive in Kent looks like this. Miles Rudman leading from John Mickle and Will Gibson. Steve Whiteleg in 4th ahead of Marcus Pett. Chris Brockhurst in 6th, then Jack Parker, Andy Bird, Gareth Sheridan and Charlie Budd in 10th. Outside of that, in the rookies, the newcomers championship led by Ollie Schlupp from Luke Simmons and Ben Higgins. Meanwhile, down in the paddock, catching up with Gary Whiteleg is our Barry.
So, Brands Hatch round American Speed Fest. Gary, we haven't caught up with you for a little while. I know back at Pembrey you had a little bit of illness, thankfully over that. Not been the best of starts for you so far this season, but we've got time to turn it round.
Yeah, we've looked at a few things. Obviously I've not raced for about 4 years, so a little bit rusty myself. But we've got involved in a couple of things that happen during racing, and unfortunately I've collected lots of little bits and pieces, non-finishes, poor finishes through to various incidents on the track, but we're hoping to improve. We do know the car's on the pace, and last time we were at Brands I was probably about half a second off the front running pace, so we know we're good to go. It's just knitting it together and doing well.
Former champion Lee Fitzpatrick, absolutely fantastic seeing you back on the grid. I saw you out at Pembrey there. You're in a team car this time. Just tell us about how the season's going.
It's going well actually. One of my colleagues at work, Luke Takushis, thought he'd have a go at Legends, so I introduced him to the team. He's out there now doing a full season, but we thought we'd do a team car. My opportunity to get back in it, you know, after 12 years away. And we're having a good time, and he's picking up pace, and the pace is there for me. It's a little bit ring rust though, so yeah, just got to keep ploughing on.
I was just saying, back in the day we've been following Legends Cars, our crew, for a good 12-15 years, and I remember early days was yourself, John Higgins, and some of the classics out there racing. Great to see you back, but like you say, you've got to dust it down a bit, and there's quite a few newcomers and fresh blood out there.
There's a lot of fast drivers, you know, and I'm surprised. I have been following it since I left, you know. I'd done it with Mickle in 99, 2000, then with Burnett in the early 2000s, then obviously retired, had kids, you know, run a business. Now back again, and there's some new blood, very fast drivers, so yes, I've just got to, I'm here to enjoy it. So that's what I'm going to do. And the pace is still there, so I'm fairly happy today.
The grid draw sees Gary Whiteleg, who we just heard from, or just before Lee Fitzpatrick, on pole position. Mike Schlupp alongside, Florian Robin on row 2, Nathan Anthony on his outside. Then it is Mark Beattie and John T. Norman on board with Lee Fitzpatrick. I thought Will Gibson was going into the pit lane then for a moment, just trying to get some heat into the tyres. So our maiden interview man Gary Whiteleg on pole in blue, to his outside the silver grey machine of Mike Schlupp. The lights go out. We are racing. Super start by Nathan Anthony in the Savannah. The blue and yellow machine round the outside of Paddock Hill Bend. He's challenging for the lead, but it's Gary Whiteleg the leader. Mike Schlupp second. Anthony is third. Then it's Florian Robin fourth at the moment. Steve Whiteleg chasing his teammate who has a bit of a lock-up. That's Nick Bridgman, and Whiteleg goes around. Was he pushed? He's precariously across the track. Rejoins just behind James Newberry. Problems for Charlie Budd as well, I think, by the look of it. And that is Gary Whiteleg off. The curse of the interviewer for Gary Whiteleg. He pulls it up. What a miserable time Gary Whiteleg has had. So that pole position start, all to no avail. I'm not sure how that came about. He has recovered. There is Lee Fitzpatrick in the 55. Problems for Luke Simmons. Let's have a look and see what happened to Gary Whiteleg coming out of Druids. He's on the outside. Oh, and a Bosch from 43, John T. Norman. Meanwhile, the leaders across the line, and out front it is Nathan Anthony who leads. We're looking at the midfield pack. John Mickle in the Silver 4 about to pass teammate Paul Simmons. Lee Fitzpatrick behind him. That is Chris Brockhurst on the inside. Ahead of Brockhurst in the black number 1 is championship leader, defending champion Miles Rudman. Will Gibson in black and blue. John Mickle in the Quick Steel Silver car number 4 ahead of them. And Mickle the leader of the top 3 championship drivers in this race at the moment. Remember, balloted grid. So there is Nathan Anthony ahead of Mark Beattie in the Park Lane Cars 85. Beattie chasing a maiden win in Legends, on board with Nick Bridgman. That is Marcus Pett immediately in front. Marcus going to have a look here. 2 wheels on the grass to try and pass Florian Robin. Florian giving him plenty of room, and Marcus responding to that. Back on the tarmac, goes through. Nick Bridgman through as well. Nick, race winner at Cadwell in the past, podium finisher already this year. Getting quicker as his career in Legends goes on. Proof of the fact that Legends does reward drivers who stay with it. Look at the back end of Marcus Pett's car, wanting to break away, but he controls it beautifully. As now Andy Bird challenges for second position. That was Andy Bird challenging for second place Mark Beattie. Jonty Norman up ahead of Paul Simmons there. Jonty holding on to position well in these early stages, but I think about to be passed. Now Will Gibson's got a clean run at John Mickle. Daniel Poulin behind them. Problems for James Newberry. So James having problems. I mentioned Daniel Poulin starting in the main draw for the first time and getting his confidence up as a rookie, and getting his confidence up. And on the outside now is Andy Bird, who's got up into second place. Bird goes second. In car with Marcus Pett in fourth place. Mark Beattie in green immediately ahead of us. And Andy Bird here looking very strong indeed in second place and taking the race to Nathan Anthony. Superb shots as they come out of Druids. You can see the cars on the limit, but it's Anthony in the Savannah leading. Bird second, Beattie in third place, Marcus Pett. Again, another race driver, one of, really I have to say, all too few drivers who've won this year. And Bird looks on the inside as they go into Surtees. Bird challenges for the lead, but Nathan Anthony hangs on to it. That was very measured from Andy Bird. I think he knows he's got some speed, but he didn't want to take the risk of flying up the inside and maybe risking a clatte or try and get past. But there is Charlie Budd in 44 recovering, Luke Simmons as well. Ben Higgins ahead of them. Now Bird goes to the outside at Paddock Hill Bend, side by side with Nathan Anthony. They're still side by side as they get to the apex there. Mark Beattie might chop up the inside. Mike Schlupp still hanging in well in fifth position. Bird is being taken out wide, and Mark Beattie's coming up and having a look for the lead, but Bird is masterful going into Druids, takes a wide line, cuts back in when he knows he's got space to do so. This is Steve Whiteleg recovering. Ollie Schlupp side by side with Lee Fitzpatrick. He'll be used to seeing Luke Takashis in that car. Lee was describing he's sharing the car this year. Lee doing a handful of events in his return, which is great to see. So it's Andy Bird, the race leader here, on maybe for a first career win. Marcus Pett now side by side with Mark Beattie. Then it's Mike Schlupp, still staying with the lead group. Marcus looks at the outside, might chop back and go for the inside. That's covered by Mark Beattie, no room on the inside. So Bird is away in the lead position. We're watching Marcus Pett thrashing out for third place at the moment. Let's see what he can do. Beattie takes the midline into Paddock Hill Bend. Now we've got Will Gibson around the outside of the all-blue 68 of Nick Bridgman. On the inside goes John Mickle in the quick steel car. This debut from Nick Bridgman into Druids. Mickle will go through, chasing. Now Miles Rudman there is the third, so we've got the big three, the top three in the championship all together. The draw has been kind to us, drawing those three drivers together, and Will Gibson getting away from his two championship rivals at the moment. He's putting a bit of distance between himself, Miles Rudman and John Mickle. He'll need to do a little bit more before the end of the race, but he's up into, I think that's fifth place now. Then Miles Rudman, John Mickle in the 4, Mike Schlupp followed by Nick Bridgman. Spin for Paul Simmons in the 51. It's at the bottom of Graham Hill and coming on to Cooper Straight. John Mickle teeing up Miles Rudman, a little bit of bump drafting, breaks ranks, thinks about having a look down the inside, maybe not the momentum at this moment. Miles, as a result, pulls a little bit clear, down Halewood's, puff of smoke out of somebody's car as they go up the hill, and it's Andy Bird still out front. Bird from Beattie Marcus Pett, Nathan Anthony is fourth, Will Gibson in fifth place, and Miles Rudman has caught Gibson now. Lee Fitzpatrick challenging Florian Robin, will hand over to his teammate Eduardo Geigo tomorrow. The two stuntmen, very welcome addition to Legends cars in recent seasons, part-time drivers due to work commitments. And Andy Bird, this is good. This is looking very much like Andy Bird could be on for a first win here. Miles Rudman now challenging Nathan Anthony. Will Gibson's already passed. Gibson trying to hunt down Marcus Pett. Pett still trying to get past Mark Beattie, but it's Andy Bird out front at the moment as they cross the line here at Brands Hatch once again. Another gaggle of cars headed by Mike Schlupp, his son Ollie right with him now. So it's Mike Schlupp, Ollie Schlupp, Lee Fitzpatrick, followed by Jack Parker in the 13. And here's the view from Lee Fitzpatrick, the third of the four cars we were looking at from the outfield shot, under the bridge, on the inside run here. Ollie's looking at the outside, and that leaves the door open for Lee Fitzpatrick. You don't need to tell a former champion to take that opportunity. Down Graham Hill, they need to keep an eye on Jack Parker. Parker goes around Ollie Schlupp, and Andy Bird's been passed. That's Marcus Pett going through. Marcus Pett leads. Andy Bird down to second. Mark Beattie being challenged by Will Gibson. And Marcus Pett, the winner in race 2 of our last round at Pembrey, is up into lead position. Andy Bird is in second place. Goes out wide. Andy Bird, I think Andy Bird's got a problem because Mark Beattie is second. Will Gibson now up into third place. Bird is being passed. Oh, that's a massive shame for Andy Bird. When is luck going to go Andy Bird's way? He is the one driver that I would have tipped to have had a win by now. It just has not gone his way. He's still in the mix. I wonder what the problem is. Goes out of Druids. It was almost like he was trying to keep out of harm's way there. Down into Graham Hill Bend go the leaders. It's Marcus Pett there from Will Gibson. Gibson's got a bit of breathing space from Miles Rudman in black. Rudman having a look at the inside of Mark Beattie. Challenge on for the lead. Gibson's going for it and got it. The TWG car goes through. 57 car leads. Looking for a fifth win of the season. Will Gibson leads from Marcus Pett here at Brands Hatch. We'll have more for you after the break. Welcome back to Brands Hatch, and Marcus Pett is fighting back on the last lap, and he's got the inside run here up in towards Druids. Pett's going to reclaim the lead, he gets it. Marcus Pett back in lead position, but Gibson is fighting back, gets a little bit crossed up, clashes into Marcus Pett, who spins around. Gibson is off, and who's going to benefit from this? The pair of them were racing so closely, there was a clash. Here's a replay, in car with Marcus Pett, a little bit of contact from Will Gibson, around goes Marcus Pett. And it's Miles Rudman who inherits the lead here. Mark Beattie is in second place, John Mickle third. Marcus Pett has recovered for fourth place. I don't know if the officials are going to look at that. John Mickle's looking though, he's looking at the inside line of Mark Beattie. The quick steel car goes past the Park Lane class car, and here comes Marcus Pett up into third place. It's Rudman that takes the win. John Mickle second, Marcus Pett in third place. Good recovery from him. Mark Beattie, excellent result in fourth ahead of Nathan Anthony. And Andy Bird in sixth place from Will Gibson, another good recovery. Steve Whiteleg was in eighth place from Chris Brockhurst. That is a 42nd career win for Miles Rudman. He now overtakes Dave Newsham, equals Ben Power on wins in the championship. There's confirmation of the result we've just given you. Chris Brockhurst 9th. Nick Bridgman completing the top 10. 11th goes to Lee Fitzpatrick from Jack Parker. Ollie Schlupp in 13th from Mike Schlupp. Then Luke Simmons and Gareth Sheridan, Charlie Budd 17th from Florian Robin and Daniel Pooley, Ben Higgins in 20th, Paul Simmons next up from Lenny Woodcock, James Newbury in 23rd. Fastest lap goes to Will Gibson. So a dramatic way to get our Legends racing underway here at the American Speedfest at Brands Hatch. The cars are making their way down into Parc Ferme and into Victory Lane, where Barry will have a chance to catch up with our race winner, Miles Rudman.
Miles, that was a tough one.
Yeah, it was quite tough, to be honest with you. I didn't think for 1 minute I was going to win that from the back. We managed to get a decent start, to be fair, and there was a couple of cars come off in front, so I had to sort of stop and then had to get going again. So yeah, it took me quite a while to get to the front, but I think on the last lap I got into the lead and yeah, managed to get the win.
John, round 6, Brands Hatch, what a busy weekend. Now, Heat 1 out of the way, another consistent podium for you. That looked like hard work trying to fight through.
Yeah, it was very hard work. I mean, the quick steel car was very quick, I thought. There was a lot of other cars, not actually standing on the black stuff to get by, but that's just the way it is. But, you've got to take it off. We got from the 20th right the way through to second. There was a few cars spinning. But it's good, all the team, all the Daves have worked really hard to get all the cars ready, and hopefully we can build on that for the weekend.
Marcus, another welcome return to the podium. You've got to feel good about that one.
Yeah, it's a great start to the weekend there. We started down in 10th, so we made some good progress during that race. So yeah, it's great to start the weekend on a positive.
10th was where all the action was for the first few laps, really. The first 5 cars sort of broke away, but it was tricky to make any progress, surely, in that pack.
It was, yeah. It was very busy on the opening lap, and we settled into about 6th, 7th at the end of lap 1, and worked away to the front, and felt confident doing that. And fortunately, a tiny bit of contact on the last lap dropped us down to 3rd, but we'll take a 3rd any day. So that's a really positive start.
Nathan, been a little while since we caught up. Now, that was an exciting first race. Now, you sort of became the hunted there for the first few laps.
Yeah, definitely the hunted. Did get a good start, managed to get round the outside of Schlupp round the outside, and then back up into Druids, managed to keep it going, and got a bit of a decent lead, to be fair. But Bert was on the back, he was chasing, he was fighting hard. So it's hard to defend around here. It's hard to defend and get a decent lead. So. We dropped a couple of places going into clearways, which went a little bit wide, and you've got no room for error around here, no room at all. So with that, we dropped down to about 7th, and then I think we got back up to 5th. So,
still a good result though,
yeah,
and like you say, it's not the easiest of circuits. Pretty hot out there at the moment. It's going to get hotter. I mean, that's pretty tough on you guys.
It's better than the wet. It's better than the wet, so I prefer it to be dry. I think we all do, to be honest. But yeah, the hotter it gets, the harder it gets, as in the grip level does actually go off. You do lose a bit of grip level. Your first 3 laps are probably your fastest, and then it might go off. So we'll start the next race pretty near the back, which is going to be a tough fight to get into the top 10. We need to get in the top 10. We've had a bit of an inconsistent year so far. The points are way off, and we need to salvage what we can now.
Andy, what a great start to the actual weekend there. Now, you were leading that for quite some while, good battle with Nathan and so forth, and then how did it go from there?
Well, it was a great start until 3 laps to the end, where my gear lever snapped at the mechanism, and I was stuck in 4th gear for the final 3 laps of the race. So yeah, I was just hoping and praying that somebody didn't push me, waving out the window down the straight saying don't push me. But managed to hang on to 6th, I think it was. Managed to stay in 6th at the flag, but yeah, it should have been a win, but hey, these things happen.
And if it had been, that would have been your first win of the career, so it's sniffingly close, isn't it?
Yeah, first win in Legends, which off the start of this season would have been a brilliant way to start this weekend, but also a brilliant way to turn around what happened at Alton Park. So.
Now, we saw you a few minutes ago working on the gear lever. Is that quite a serious thing? Can you fix that in time for race 2?
Yeah, we'll be able to fix it. We've got another gear lever, so we're just getting that fitted to the car now. So fingers crossed that one doesn't have the same fate.
So in race 1 we had Gary Whiteleg on pole position, and here's his onboard. He's actually at the back now, so you can see how the reverse grid works. And those that are at the back in race 1 at the front here now: Ben Higgins on pole from Chris Brockhurst, Ollie Schlupp and Paul Simmons row 2, John Mickle and Lee Fitzpatrick are on row 3. Out go the lights, we're Legends racing. Ben Higgins tries to get away, it's Chris Brockhurst, but around the outside trying to do an Nathan Anthony is Paul Simmons. We've got Will Gibson from row 4 in black and blue. He's already up into 4th place, make that 3rd. He's got his nose ahead of Ben Higgins. Switches to the inside from the outside now. Outside again, passes Simmons, and up into second, challenging Brockhurst for the lead. This is terrific stuff from the Legends cars. Lee Fitzpatrick made a good start as well. He was on row 3 and he's in 4th place. Charlie Budd's come up well in the all-white car. Here's Nick Bridgman. 99 is Gareth Sheridan, sharing that car with Chris Needham this year. I think we might see Chris in the Matt Isherwood car as well later on in the season, just to confuse things. Jack Parker on the outside in the gold and blue 13, but it's Will Gibson through into the lead. So Gibson leads in the distance, Chris Brockhurst second, Paul Simmons third, Lee Fitzpatrick in 4th. This is the red 66, the onboard that we were looking at there. That is Steve Whiteleg, bump drafting with Jack Parker into Paddock Hill Bend. Passes Ollie Schlupp in the orange and blue car. Now looking at the orange, black and white, number 20 of Ben Higgins. Higgins third in the rookies, being chased by rookie championship leader Ollie Schlupp. Here's Whiteleg again. Looks on the inside of Parker, but nothing really doing this. It's good stuff from, great start from Charlie Budd in the white 44. Lee Fitzpatrick about to be chatting. Was that Miles Rudman just popping his nose down the inside of Lee Fitzpatrick? Yes, it was. The black number 1, we can tell from the eyes. So Parker through past Charlie Budd. Budd's good start. Momentum not really carrying him at the moment, but it was a terrific start from the former mini racer. Done a bit of Ginetta challenge racing as well, did Charlie Budd. Steve Whiteleg goes through. Charlie's still learning his craft as far as Legends cars are concerned. Scrap on for second. We're watching Nathan Anthony trying to get past Luke Simmons, bump drafting at the moment. Now goes to the outside. Luke not giving up the position easily. Luke's second in the rookie championship, so it's Schlupp, the leader of rookies, from Luke Simmons and Ben Higgins in terms of points coming into this round. Will Gibson the leader. Chris Brockhurst second. Third place between Simmons and Mickle. Mickle tees up the inside down towards Graham Hill Bend, with Miles Rudman not too far behind as well. The 3 top championship scorers all being drawn in the front 4, or the back 4 rows of the grid in race 1, which means the front 4 rows obviously for race 2. Brockhurst second, Mickle third, Simmons, Rudman, then Fitzpatrick and Jack Parker. Things settling down pretty nicely at the moment. Wide line there and onto a little bit of dust for Nick Bridgman. Mark Beattie goes through in the 85 car. Mark's brother Kieran not racing with us this weekend, I think on holiday. Let's hope they're having a great break as Nathan Anthony still tries to pass Luke Simmons. Simmons trying to keep on terms with Ollie Schlupp for those rookie points, but it's Nathan Anthony that goes past on the run up Hayward's Hill into Druids again. The Savannah running well. Marcus Pett making progress as well, the Gunmetal 79, but Miles Rudman and John Mickle, these two almost glued together at every meeting. Fitzpatrick passed by Parker. Will Gibson very much away and in the lead of this one, looking for a 6th win of the 2022 season. Miles Rudman at the moment has 5 wins this year thus far. As we mentioned, he is climbing up the career wins record table. He's actually equal with Ben Power now on those, and you never know, we might persuade Ben Power to come out and have a play to get that position in the tables back as Jack Parker looks to the outside again. This time it is Paul Simmons. Lee Fitzpatrick still ahead of Steve Whiteleg as they go up the hill. Let's ride with Steve to see what he can do. Closes up big time, looks for the outside. This could be a fast run into Druids and therefore a faster run out and down the hill. Second, third and fourth closing up. Still Will Gibson clear in the 57 car at the moment, now from Camberley. Third in the championship. He's away, isn't he, with this one at the moment. John Mickle and Miles Rudman go through. Chris Brockhurst is down to 4th. Don't discount Brockhurst from a podium still. He could still find the 89 car with enough power to fight back. Here is Steve Whiteleg again. Lee Fitzpatrick immediately in front, but this second, third and fourth. Remember, Will Gibson the race leader. Miles Rudman quickest man on track at the moment as Fitzpatrick gets stuck in, looks at the outside. He's enjoying his racing. The great thing about racing a team car is you don't really have to worry about the overall championship, so you can come in and enjoy your racing. And Fitzpatrick challenging the Mowermate car. Can he do it? Join us after the break to see if he can. Miles Rudman now ahead of John Mickle. Then it's Chris Brockhurst in 4th. A massive pack of drivers all squabbling over 6th place at the moment. It's Jack Parker who is there. I beg your pardon, 5th place. A spin for Lenny Woodcock in 3-2-1. Lenny racing off the back of the grid while he builds his experience in the cars. Good to have him and his son Dylan, of course, taking part in the championship as well. Here comes Lee Fitzpatrick challenging Steve Whiteleg. Whiteleg disappears down the road on the outside, passes Paul Simmons. Great control from Steve Whiteleg, same with Marcus Pett as well. Pett was looking on the outside of Lee Fitzpatrick. Thought better of that. It's Jack Parker still heading this group, which is 5th position. Whiteleg having a look on the grass and up into 5th place. Steve, forceful driving from Steve through. Back to 2nd. Now John Mickle here will need to try and work with Miles Rudman if possible to close down this huge gap that Will Gibson has got. Gibson with 5 wins this year, the same as Miles Rudman in this year's championship, but Gibson with a few more DNFs at this stage of the season puts him further back on points. This is the battle for 5th. Steve Whiteleg, Jack Parker, then Lee Fitzpatrick. Marcus Pett is next up, then Paul Simmons. Fitzpatrick looks on the inside of Parker up to Druids. This is getting quite tasty between the two of them. Little nudge on the back and Fitzpatrick dislodges the 13 car ever so slightly, makes the most of the opportunity to go past. Jack Parker will fight back though in the 13. See what Jack can do along Cooper Straight. Next corner is the left-hander at Surtees. Whiteleg getting away from those boys at the moment. Parker all over the back of the 55 car. Turning into, little knock on the back. Is that tit for tat? I wonder. We'll catch up with the drivers afterwards. Now this is what I said about bump drafting for 2nd place. John Mickle chasing Miles Rudman but helping him at the moment. Rudman goes into Paddock Hill Bend. John Mickle in the quick steel car chases. There's a bit of a gap between the two at the moment. Now this is an intriguing battle. Bill Reid chasing James Newbury for 22nd place. These two drivers both electing to run from the back of the grid, and seemingly every race those two are battling hard. It's almost like a little independent championship between those two. And a back of shot, Steve Whiteleg retires from 5th place. Whiteleg is out of the race. Not a good day for the Whiteleg brothers so far. So it's Will Gibson leading. Miles Rudman 2nd there in black, the silver car of John Mickle, then the turquoise car of 89 Chris Brockhurst in 4th. Into Clearways, 5th position now. Will that be Lee Fitzpatrick or is it going to be Jack Parker? We need to check up on that. Through come the top 4, fairly well spaced out here. It's Jack Parker, Fitzpatrick challenging and goes through. Lee Fitzpatrick into 5th place. Now, can Marcus Pett take the challenge to Jack Parker now? Parker will fight back, but they're on to the last tour. Paul Simmons behind them. Then it's Ben Higgins. Ben Higgins is followed by Nathan Anthony in 10th place. So Nathan's come through from the back of the group. Remember, he was an early race leader in race 1 from the front, and he's clawed his way through half the field to get into the top 10. Top 4 are through. The main focus here perhaps 5th position. Lee Fitzpatrick there at the moment in that 55 car. This is going to be Lee's best finish. It's only his 2nd round of the year, but has lost none of his old spark for sure. He was talking about being race rusty, but no such thing. And it's Will Gibson that will take the race win here. Crosses the line, win number 6. He's the most successful driver now this year in terms of wins. Miles Rudman 2nd, 3rd goes to John Mickle, then Chris Brockhurst, then this man Lee Fitzpatrick takes the flag in 5th place from Jack Parker, Marcus Pett, Paul Simmons. Ben Higgins is in 9th, Nathan Anthony completing the top 10. The battle between Bill Reid and James Newbury. Bill's in front in the 333. James Newbury will try and get 2 Mater, as he calls the car, up on terms with the 333 machine, but it is going to be Bill Reid who gets the best of that battle. Superb racing between the pair of them again, and Will Gibson takes the win. So it's 1 win apiece in this meeting for Miles Rudman and Will Gibson. John Mickle 3rd, Rudman taking fastest lap as well. Chris Brockhurst 4th from Lee Fitzpatrick. Jack Parker is next from Marcus Pett. Paul Simmons 8th from Ben Higgins, then Nathan Anthony in 10th. 11th goes to Charlie Budd from Luke Simmons, then Ollie Schlupp and Mark Beattie. Gareth Sheridan 15th from Mike Schlupp. Nick Bridgman, Daniel Pooley in 18th from Gary Whiteleg and Florian Robin. They were followed by Bill Reid and James Newbury. Then it was Leonard Woodcock in 23rd, and Andy Bird completing our race finishers here in race 2. The points will now be added together. The top scorers start at the back. The ones that haven't had such a great day will start at the front for our third race, which is a slightly longer race distance. As we look forward to that, let's go down to the paddock and hear from Will Gibson.
Fantastic race win there, and by quite a clear margin.
Yeah, that was great. Made a good start, managed to get to the lead halfway around the first lap, and just head down, just trying to put in fast laps, and I could see the guys behind battling, which slowed them up a bit, which just allowed me to put away, which was great. So yeah, really happy.
Good clean racing, well done. We'll see you at the final.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to dedicate that to my gran, who sadly passed away a couple of weeks ago. It's been a pretty tough week, or couple of weeks for the whole family, so that one was for her.
Might have been a little while since we caught up now. Race 2, a good race for you. Starting virtually at the back of the grid, 23rd, and finished in 16th.
Yes, I was much happier with that. In fact, so far all day has been much better than my last visit to Brands Hatch, where I had so many problems. So just to finish is great. And then to get some overtakes in, had an excellent battle with Nick Bridgman. So we've always been good friendly rivals. So it's just great fun when you're out there and the car behaves and you can just go out and have fun.
Bit similar to race 1, most of the action was in that mid to latter part of the pack, I think.
Yes, I could see a long train ahead of me. Everyone's very evenly matched, other than the top runners at the front who just disappear into the distance. There's a whole group, which is great because you can stay there and race with them, but it makes it more difficult to pass. So you've got to up your game a bit. But everyone was very well behaved, and that again makes for an excellent race.
So Chris, a good race there. Started in P2, came fourth overall, some great pace. But then, what's the story? I've just seen the bonnet up.
Yeah, it's showing good pace for the start of the race. I knew if I can sort of get in front and get my head down and sort of try and do some quality laps and pull a gap, I may stay within a chance to stay in the top 3. Gibson caught me up and went through. I thought if I could tuck behind him and try and sort of work with him and pull a gap with the others, sort of maybe able to stay in the top 3. But Rudman and Mickle sort of hunted me down. They got through as well. Towards the end of the race, we seemed to develop some sort of misfire, which I don't know, just sort of when you lose that gap and you're out of that window of in the slipstream, it's so hard to get it back again. But I could see in my mirrors that there wasn't anybody else there, so it's just a matter of sort of bringing it home in fourth.
Jack, always amongst the thick of the action there. Now this is a very busy weekend, double-header weekend, so 6 races in total. You're in amongst the pack. I mean, first race you seem to get tied up more than normal. Second race went a bit better.
Yeah, first race we had a bit of misfortune. Had to divert onto the gravel to try and miss another competitor. We made our way back up to 12th from dead last. So yeah, unfortunate, but at least we managed to get back halfway through the pack.
Miles, great race 2 there, great for points again. Will took some catching.
Yeah, it was a good second race for us, obviously. Some more good points in the bag, but Will just got a very good start, and we just got boxed in really at the start, and then he just managed to break away, and by the time I got through it was probably too late, and just had all the hard work to do then, but happy with second place, and like you say, it's more points in the bag for us.
Ben, great race 2 there. Now I know you're not feeling on top form, you're under the weather, so we almost didn't see you, but a good race, and obviously you started on pole, not for the first time this year. How was it for you?
It was good. I mean, obviously, as you say, we feel under the weather, so it's been a tough day, to be honest, and we're just trying to get some points and get to the end of the day, really, and just see how we feel tomorrow.
So, pretty good day so far for you, and you're starting towards the front here, so how do you feel?
Hopefully we're going to be in the top 10 this time. We're going to go for it. So, no yellow flags and just let us race. Be good. Yeah.
Slightly longer race, this race 3, and obviously with the reverse grid. Any pressure on you with a huge crowd watching?
There's a little bit more pressure because there's a few sponsors watching on TV when it comes on. So yeah, we've got to put on a good show, and hopefully all goes well.
The last race of the day here at Brands Hatch, Jonty Norman on pole position from Gary Whiteleg, Florian Robin on row 2 with Daniel Pooley, Gareth Sheridan and Ollie Schlupp are on row 3. Here's the view from Dan Pooley. First meeting in the main grid for him, losing, well, he keeps rookie status, but he can go in the main group now, and he's got the opportunity to start as near to the front as he ever has done. So Jonty Norman leads them around with Gary Whiteleg. Let's hope for better things for those who haven't had the rub of the green so far. Lights out here at Brands Hatch, and it is Gary Whiteleg that leads from Jonty Norman. Daniel Pooley goes round the outside and up into third place. Good start by Pooley, passes Florian Robin. Gareth Sheridan is next up in black. Steve Whiteleg makes a good start. Charlie Budd in the 44, passed by Ben Higgins. Mike Schlupp up his inside. Here we go with Steve Whiteleg. So Whiteleg in fourth place, Daniel Pooley in second. That was a great start from Pooley, and a spin, I think an assisted spin for Nathan Anthony in the Savannah, is out of the race very sadly. Let's see if we can see what caught him out. Not his day. Ran well in race 2. Just caught between two cars, Nick Bridgman and Ollie Schlupp. Spins around as a result of that. A little bit of contact with Lee Fitzpatrick, who's trying to work out where to go. Andy Bird on the outside of John Mickle as they go around Clark Curve. But the race leader as they go across the line, Gary Whiteleg from Daniel Pooley in second. This is good stuff from both of these guys, especially Daniel Pooley. First time off the front of the grid for the multiple Grand Prix Midget Short Oval champion. Brings his number 32 with him. Look at the mid-pack though, so busy as ever as Daniel Pooley grabs the lead. Steve Whiteleg in second. Daniel Pooley, the race leader, gets a little bit drifty. This is coming out of Clark Curve, and Steve Whiteleg up into the lead. Here's the view looking back. Daniel Pooley having led a Legends race for the first time in only his fourth meeting. Steve Whiteleg has done many more and was second in the championship. And look at Pooley's fighting back, goes to the inside at Paddock Hill Bend, can't quite do it. Whiteleg's got that wide run, maintains the race lead. Daniel Pooley looking anything but a rookie here. This is exactly what National Legends is about. When you get a rookie starting off the front for the first time, it gives them the confidence to go for that win. Oh, John Mickle has contact with Jonty Norman. Now, did Jonty come across him? John recovers very quickly indeed, but has lost ground to 57 Will Gibson and Miles Rudman. Got Lee Fitzpatrick right behind him, his teammate. How quickly do these drivers respond to stuff like that? John just gets on with the racing. Rudman goes through on the inside of Nick Bridgman. Will Gibson having gone through ahead of him. Lee Fitzpatrick drops back a little bit from John Mickle. This is the mid-pack. She's having a good sort out at the moment. Jonty Norman passed on the inside by Gibson and Rudman, and on the outside line by Mark Beattie. John Mickle will be next to try and have a go. Now John will see the inside run here. The inside on the exit of Druids means the outside if you're side by side with the car that you're trying to pass. John gets through, gets done, and now Nick Bridgman is side by side with Jonty Norman, and Jonty's got the favoured run into Graham Hill Bend. Here we go with Bridgman, rides the curbs. Bridgman being chased by this man who goes through. That was extremely well read by Lee Fitzpatrick. Passes Jonty Norman and also manages to go past Nick Bridgman as well. They'll try and hunt down John Mickle and Mark Beattie, who are immediately ahead of them. Beattie has got the blue and gold of Jack Parker ahead of him, so the three cars working together. And for John Mickle now, absolutely key that he can try and hunt down Will Gibson and Miles Rudman. Remember those three drivers, Rudman, Mickle and Gibson, the top three in the championship points at the moment. Gibson about to challenge Paul Simmons in the light blue 51. It's his son Luke immediately ahead. A little bit of a gap ahead of them. Ben Higgins is in that group. Jack Parker kicks up some dirt. John Mickle still trying to close down on Jack at the moment. And I'm wondering if John's car has picked up some damage from that clash with Jonty Norman. As Miles Rudman looks on the outside of Paul Simmons, Will Gibson will get himself a bit of breathing space here from Rudman at least. Pooley and Higgins side by side. Ben Higgins, two of our rookies there side by side, and Ben Higgins, the young Welshman, goes through on the outside. Dan Pooley again, still in 5th place, Daniel Pooley. This is a good drive from him. Ben Higgins making the most of a relatively near the front start as well. The Wrights Tools car though, the 32 machine still running well. He's got Will Gibson behind him now, then Luke Simmons, Miles Rudman, Paul Simmons, John Mickle in silver. Blue and gold 13 is Jack Parker, 85 Mark Beattie, followed by Lee Fitzpatrick. I'm not sure when we're going to see Lee again, but this is his second event or second meeting of the season, sharing with Luke Takashis. You heard him mention that in the interviews at the start of the programme. Things settling down very nicely in this 3rd race of the weekend here at Brands Hatch. We've got another day's racing tomorrow where the crowd will be even bigger. This is a good Saturday crowd here at Brands, with the main event tomorrow as Luke Simmons challenges Miles Rudman. Luke Simmons, the rookie, going past the double champion on the inside of Paddock Hill Bend. He's no doubt being egged on by his dad behind him, 51, but here comes John Mickle on the outside of Paul Simmons. Mickle's going to go through, and I've got to say, Miles Rudman not looking as sharp as we've seen him in previous rounds here, and that's taking nothing away from a great move by Luke Simmons to get in front of Miles Rudman there, and Miles is going to fight back. He's having a look at the inside as they go along Cooper Straight. Back with the leaders though, Steve Whiteleg leads. Charlie Budd in 2nd, Gareth Sheridan is in 3rd, then it's Ben Higgins chasing 57 Will Gibson. Here's your lead quintet going across the line with Steve Whiteleg hopefully having a little bit better luck in this one as Will Gibson goes up into 3rd and into 2nd. 2 passes for the price of 1, rides the curbs and almost in salute going past Charlie Budd, who's down to 3rd. This is a strong race from Charlie Budd once again, and he's in 3rd, so it's Whiteleg, Gibson and Budd, Ben Higgins, then Gareth Sheridan, Daniel Pooley next up from Miles Rudman, Jack Parker, John Mickle in the 4, looks down the inside, great timing by John, slices down the inside, makes the move, he's done that a time or 2. Paul Simmons trying to get in the mix as well. Luke Simmons of course has dropped behind that group now, he's got Lee Fitzpatrick all over him. Lee in the slightly darker blue car. So this is Steve Whiteleg, the race leader, but for how much longer? Because out of the slipstream and into the lead as they cross the line goes Will Gibson. Gibson wants to make it a double win here, and a 57 car leads the race. This will be another one for his Dan for sure, if he can hold on to the lead. Steve Whiteleg we know will challenge back though. Up into Druids, down the gears, on the brakes. Druids doesn't quite look as tight, does it, when you're on board in a Legends car? And it's Gibson, the race leader again, who's worked his way through the field in this reverse grid final race of the day. Chris Brockhurst is there. Mark Beattie nipping past Luke Simmons. Marcus Pett in 79 is going to go on the inside. Luke runs a little bit wide, will lose a bit of momentum there. 3 cars wide you saw momentarily there. You can't do that in any other formula, but Legends cars in very nearly 30 years of racing here in the UK, the specification has pretty much remained the same. A few subtle changes here or there, but the cars, unlike other formula, do not outgrow the circuit, so that's the beauty of Legends. If you come into it, or looking at coming into it, you know you're coming into a stable environment. That stable environment inevitably means great racing, as we've got here in our little unofficial championship. This time James Newbury is challenging Leonard Woodcock, and a little bit of contact. James backed out of that, and you can see, because Leonard gets a better run once he recovers. Bill Reid, incidentally, is a little way ahead down the road of those two, so it's almost like a little mini championship between those guys starting off the back. Bill Reid, James Newbury, Leonard Woodcock. Here we go with 3 wide again. Lee Fitzpatrick having a look at Daniel Pooley. Sort themselves out again by the time they get into Surtees, the left-hander, right-hander into McLaren. That continues through Clearways, where they are now. Then Clark Curve onto the Brabham Straight. Here we are with Lee Fitzpatrick. Now he couldn't get through at Surtees, so it's going to go wide on the run down into Paddock Hill Bend. He's got his bumper hanging off. That could be a mechanical failure flag for him. He might have to visit the pits. Pooley passed by Mark Beattie, passed by Marcus Pett as well. There is Marcus on the inside of the 79 car. Daniel still challenging hard. This is super drive from Daniel Pooley, first time in the main grid, and the rookie showing a great deal of promise. Luke Simmons now challenging him and has a look on the brakes, little wobble. Daniel goes wide. Nick Bridgman's going to maybe make up 2 places here. He has to go on the grass to find the room. Luke Simmons is going to hold on to that position, so too is Dan Pooley. Meanwhile, the race leader is Will Gibson. He's got the fastest lap of the race back on lap 5. And it's Gibson that is going to take win number 2 of the day here at Brands Hatch. Steve Whiteleg second from Charlie Budd, Ben Higgins, John Mickle 5th. Miles Rudman is in 6th place ahead of Gareth Sheridan. Then Jack Parker, Paul Simmons 9th from Chris Brockhurst. Now what about the battle between Leonard Woodcock and James Newbury, fighting all the way to the flag? And it's Leonard Woodcock that holds the upper hand at the moment. Let's see if Two Mater can go past the 3-2-1 machine. They come out of clearways, and it's going to be a run to the flag. James is going to the outside run. They're side by side, and James Newbury just gets that 20th position, but there's contact after the flag, and Leonard Woodcock goes into the wall. I hope Leonard is okay. Not what we want to, super racing we want to see, but that was very unfortunate after the flag. Will Gibson in taking his win. Andy Bird retired at the back there as well. Will Gibson's 25th career win. He equals Jack Parker for those now. Confirmation of the top 10 that we gave you. Will also getting fastest lap, 54.282 seconds, averaging over 80 miles an hour around Brands Hatch. 11th goes to Marcus Pett from Mark Beattie and Nick Bridgman. Luke Simmons 14th, then Ollie Schlupp and John T. Norman. Florian Robbins 17th from Bill Reid, then Daniel Pooley 19th. James Newbury 20th from Leonard Woodcock, and Mike Schlupp in 22nd. Let's join Barry with Steve Whiteleg.
Steve, great way to end the day there. Congratulations on that podium. Now, race 2 didn't end so well for you, but you've got it all back together and that came all right.
Yeah, that's right. Race 2, unfortunately, we had an issue with the rear axle, and the guys put it back together again and went out in the final. Because I didn't finish race 2, I started the final further up in the grid. I think it was red 5, so about 10th place. And my intention was to try and get to the front as soon as possible. It took a few laps to get through there and then try and break away, but I couldn't really break away.
Well, we've met on many podiums, but that's the first in the Legends Championship for you, so that's a great milestone.
Yeah, brilliant. It's been a bit of a messy day, but you know, the lads have been working hard in the car, and we sorted it out for the final, and honestly it was brilliant. But 14 laps felt like a lifetime. I was counting them down, but it was yeah, brilliant. Really happy with that result.
Well done, Charlie, on a maiden podium in Legends cars. Will Gibson wins the day from Miles Rudman and John Mickle. Marcus Pett is 4th, with Chris Brockhurst in 5th from Jack Parker and Mark Beattie. Charlie Budd in 8th. Here's our round winner though, Will Gibson.
So we got race 2 done and Dustin got first place, and now we've duplicated it again. You must feel good about that.
Yeah, I'm over the moon. The guys, the team, everybody works so hard to get the car as fast as it is, and we're just really, really happy. Our season's been a bit up and down, and it's wins or DNFs, and we just need to keep the wins going, and hopefully we'll be able to challenge Miles and John for the championship.
Let's take stock of the positions after day 1 here at Brands Hatch. Miles Rudman leads the championship from John Mickle, the man we just heard from, Will Gibson in 3rd. Marcus Pett 4th from Steve Whiteleg and Chris Brockhurst. Many thanks for your company today. Join us again next time for our second day's action from the American Speedfest here at Brands Hatch. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.